Well, for more on this, I'm joined by Nader Hashemi, the Director of the Centre for Middle East Studies at the University of Denver. Thank you so much for joining us. Israel has appeared to confirm claims that it was behind a cyber attack on Iran's main nuclear facility. Is this the likely explanation, and what are Israeli authorities trying to achieve?
Well, yes, it is the likely explanation. There's a long history of Israel doing and undertaking these types of acts of sabotage throughout the region, in particular against Iran. In the final months of the Trump administration, there was a series of unexplained attacks in Iran on key nuclear and economic targets, including the Natanz facility that was hit over the last couple of days. And of course, the goal that Israel has, I think fundamentally, is not the stated goal that Israel has publicly articulated. In other words, the stated goal is that Israel wants to prevent Iran from having, a nuclear weapon. Well, if that was the case, then you would think that Israel would be very supportive of the Iran nuclear deal, which prevented Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon. I think the goal here, very much from the perspective of the government of Israel, is to keep the global spotlight on Iran's activities in the region, its destabilizing efforts, which are very great. They include, activity not only related to the nuclear program, but activities in Lebanon, Syria, and Iraq. But fundamentally, I think by keeping the spotlight on Iran, Israel hopes the global spotlight will not be on Israel's own destabilizing activity in the region, particularly with respect to the Palestinians. The secondary, I think, objective that Israel has is it's hoping that Iran will retaliate, destroy the prospects for a diplomatic resolution of this situation, and drag the United States into a war with the Islamic Republic of Iran.
As you say, there was a similar explosion at the Natanz site last July, which damaged a centrifuge assembly plant, and there was also a combined CIA and Mossad cyber attack in 2010. Why has this particular nuclear facility remained a focal point of Israeli fears?
Well, I think it's one of the most sophisticated and advanced components of Iran's nuclear program. Just the other day, Iran had a public sort of ceremony announcing the development and the launching of more advanced centrifuges, which allows Iran to enrich uranium much more quickly. So from that perspective, this particular nuclear site in Natanz is the subject of considerable concern from the international community.
Okay, Nader Hashemi from the University of Denver. We will have to leave it there, but thank you again for joining us on TRT World.